Metricool is now an API-approved scheduling tool for Pinterest, so of course I have to try it and report back on it. Now, really right here at the beginning of this video, because the majority of this is going to be a tutorial on how to use Metricool, I just want to mention how easy it is to get started with this tool, and that is one big pro. Another huge pro for using Metricool for all of your scheduling needs is that everything is all in one for one tool, and you can connect up to 5 brands for your $22 USD a month if you pay monthly. And that's also another really affordable way to utilize a scheduling tool for all of your scheduling needs. Now, Metricool has obviously gotten API approval from Pinterest in order to be able to connect Pinterest marketing to your Metricool dashboard. And another really cool feature is obviously once you do get your Pinterest account connected is the analytics and being able to see everything in one place. So those are like my favorites about using this tool. One of the cons of using Metricool for Pinterest is the lack of ability to actually upload multiple images to drafts at one time. I really do not like that. I hate that you have to upload everything one by one. It just takes so much time. I love that Tailwind, Planoly later have a drafts library where you can actually just bulk upload everything in one place, and then you can one by one add things into your schedule. Or in the case of Tailwind, for example, you can bulk schedule things all at once. So Metricool not having that ability for me as a Pinterest manager really is a big loss. And that really is my major con. Like, the only thing that I don't like about the whole tool is that lack of draft library. And unfortunately, a lot of scheduling tools just don't offer it. So without further ado, you know what I like, you know what I don't like, so let's just jump right on into the tutorial so you can learn exactly how to use Metricool to schedule your own Pinterest pins. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to use Metricool specifically for your Pinterest scheduling needs. And these are the things we're going to talk about. So connecting your Pinterest account, uploading your content to Metricool, optimizing your pins once you get it there, saving content as draft, editing already scheduled content, editing already scheduled content, and then their functionality of using UTM codes. So without further ado, let's actually just hop in. This is a previous paid subscription Metricool login that I already have. And when you log in and you're not connected to Metricool, you don't have anything connected, any platforms, it's going to look like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and connect our Pinterest account. And you want to make sure that your Pinterest account is logged into the right user. So if you're a Pinterest manager like myself, you definitely want to make sure you're logged into the correct Pinterest account before you go to connect this. Click Give Access, and once that is there, then your Pinterest account is going to show here, and you'll be able to hop over to Planning. Now, before we actually schedule pins, we need to actually download some pins to Metricool. Or to our desktop to upload to Metricool. So we're going to download a few of these. I'm not going to download all of them because I don't really think that we need to. So I'm just going to download a few of them. And then I'm going to pop back over to Metricool, and I'm going to show you just a couple of things. So the first thing that you want to take a look at is making sure that you set your time zone for where you're at in the world. I'm in Arizona. America/Phoenix is the common time zone for that. Sometimes it says Arizona. So I'm going to set my time zone to be where I'm at. You might want to set your time zone to be where you're at, or to be Eastern time, or wherever you want it to be. When you want your pins scheduled to go out is when you need to set your time zone. So do that right away. And then once you have your files on your desktop, you're going to unzip that file. And the one thing that I am, not a huge fan of with a lot of these scheduling tools is I don't have a functionality to be able to upload a bunch of drafts and then work off my drafts. Not that I have noticed, at least. So I can create posts in like auto lists and things like that, but really for Pinterest, you can only do one post at a time. So you're going to upload your Pinterest pin here, and you're going to just drag it in. And it's going to, if you try to drag all of them in, it's going to try to make it a carousel, and we don't want that. So definitely don't drag them all. Just drag the one. And then this space here is for your description. Now, if you open up the Pinterest presets, you will see the actual pin title. So you're not going to put your pin title up here. You're actually going to put it down here, and then you're going to select your board and you're going to place your link. So these are Pinterest pin templates for digital product sellers. So I'm just going to open up my pin plan, and I'm going to find that product. And it's this one, so I know that's the URL that I need. And I'm going to hop back over to Metricool. I'm going to place that link, and then I'm going to choose a board. So you can start typing. I think you really have to just scroll through to find the board. So this one's going to be Pinterest templates for Canva. You can add brand new boards to Pinterest right here if you would like to. That does mean that you will need to go back and optimize that board. So ideally, if you were to add a board through Metricool to Pinterest, you are going to hop over to Pinterest before this pin schedules and make that board fully optimized before your pin actually gets to public view. And then you're going to add your pin title. Because I pre-work the majority of all of my content for the month in my spreadsheet, I can just copy and paste a lot of this. And then I know with this being a product pin, I'm going to have to use my Pinterest description or my product listing description. And I'm not going to be able to use the, anything pre-written. It does say here that you are limited by the platform for the character count. So I do have 603 characters. I'm 103 characters over. So if I delete that last sentence that I pasted in, we're under character count. So pay attention to that. Now, a lot of these platforms that you're scheduling through are going to get updates as Pinterest rolls them out to everyone. They are test piloting 800 character descriptions on Pinterest currently. So just keep that in mind. So get your description finalized. Put your title in, your board in, your URL in. And then you are ready to set your date. Now we're going to come back in another example, and I'm going to show you what UTM codes look like. And then there's also a link shortener if you want to use their smart links functionality, which we're going to talk about later. So if you go in here and you choose a date, and you can see it's going to be scheduling in the Phoenix time zone, you choose your date and your time, and you can click through. There's three options here. You can click schedule, save as draft, or publish now. So if I click save this as draft, it's going to go in there and it's going to be grayed out. And then if I open this back up and I click schedule, it's going to be bright, and you're going to see it's not grayed out anymore. And it says pending because we're not on that date just yet. Once it publishes, then it will say published. Now, the next thing that I want to talk you through is editing your pre-scheduled content. So the content that you already scheduled, you just simply have to open it up and you can edit any of that content. If you want to cross-post this to multiple platforms, then you can do that as well. So if you wanted to post this for whatever reason, this is a square image that you were publishing to Pinterest. Maybe it's a shop listing image like this one right here. If you wanted to schedule this image to Instagram and to Facebook and to Pinterest, you can go ahead and add other networks in here as well, and that will schedule those items to those networks as well. If you want to duplicate, you can also come in here and you can duplicate it to a second board if you wanted to put it on another board. So if there was a second board you wanted to schedule to, you could definitely do that. And I always follow the guidelines of 30 days apart for any of the content that I'm scheduling a second time. So if you go forward to June 2nd, you will see that Pinterest pin is scheduled here. Zooming through your calendar is really easy. This functionality is pretty simple and standard across most all of the scheduling tools that you will see on the internet. Let's talk finally about using UTM codes with Metricool. So one of the things about Google Analytics 4, when it rolled out in June of 2023, is the ability to see all of your traffic accurately in Google Analytics 4 when it first rolled out was a little bit more difficult. I don't know over time if those issues have been ironed out with Google Analytics 4 or not. But one way that you can be sure that you can track all of your data inside of Google Analytics 4 is to use UTM codes. Now, UTM codes are generally pretty easy to utilize unless you just have never used them and you're unsure of what they even mean. It basically is just a little bit of extra tracking inside of your URL so you can actually see inside your analytics exactly where that Pinterest pin or blog image that you shared to Instagram or wherever is coming from. So if we go back and we upload a second image into Metricool and we add a description, so this is just something about creating your Pinterest schedule. So let's just do this one. So if you wanted to use Metricool's UTM code builder functionality, you're going to click this little link right here below where your image is at. And you're going to place your URL in that you are tracking. So this is the URL of the website. This is the base that we're going to build our UTM code on. The source is going to be whatever your traffic source is. So the source in this instance is Pinterest. The medium is the type of traffic. So what type of traffic is it? It's for most platforms, like for Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, it's social. Because that's where in your Google Analytics 4, that's where your information is going to be bundled. So let me actually just show you really quickly. We're going to take a slight detour into Google Analytics, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. Hop over to my Heather Farris website. And we're going to go to reports, and then we're going to go to acquisition and traffic acquisition. And then you can see we have all these different social or primary groups. So if we filter down by source, and then we add a medium, so the session medium, you're going to see here that ConvertKit is the source, the medium is email. Facebook is the source and Meta is the medium. These are ads. The source being a summit that I was in, and that's a referral. So I just want you to think through what that actually looks like, and they give you examples. Now the name of the campaign is going to be the name of the blog post if you're promoting a blog post, or the name of the product if you're promoting a product. If you're promoting a bundle, it's going to be the name of the bundle, and so forth. Now these other two, it doesn't look like it's going to force you to use those. Let's click add, and then you can see that your link now has changed. So we're going to copy that out and we're going to put it in there. So you can see in here everything after the question mark is the UTM code, and everything is kind of split up by percentages or ampersands and signs. So the source is UTM source is Pinterest, and UTM medium is social, and UTM campaign is the name of the blog post. And those are the three things that we use to create a UTM code right inside of Metricool for this Pinterest pin. So now inside of analytics, I would be able to filter into campaigns and be able to see inside of my analytics dashboard exactly where Pinterest traffic was coming from. If it was a specific pin, if it was a specific blog post, a source, or medium, or anything like that, I could narrow in on what those details are more discreetly. Okay, so that is how you are going to use Metricool to create UTM codes. Now I have an alternative method for doing this, and I'm just going to quickly pull that up. I have an automatic sheet that I use, and you put the UTM code in and you put your source and medium in, and it automatically pumps out what your final URL is. So if you didn't want to take the time to actually build this out inside of Metricool, I have tools available inside of my membership. Or if you were to purchase my Pinterest system, it's already built into that spreadsheet where you could do that outside of this, and then you could reuse these links and you don't have to do them inside of Metricool every single time. That is one thing that you do have to be aware of, is if you use their UTM builder, you have to input all of this information every single time. Whereas on Pinterest, we are consistently promoting the same URL multiple different times for different images. So you're going to have to rebuild that each time in Metricool. Whereas if you build it one time inside of a spreadsheet, inside of a tool like my Pinterest system, then you can just simply grab that URL that you pre-built the one time and you're not having to repeat that task multiple times. Now, a couple of last little things that I wanted to talk about with Metricool is you do have the feature and functionality to see what these pins are going to look like on desktop and mobile. I think that's pretty neat. There is a text generator with AI. If you would like to use that and test that out, you can definitely try that out. Basically, you put a description of whatever this is about. So this particular one is a Pinterest marketing strategy I would tell my friends. So we would go over to April, we would grab that out and we would put that in there. And then you're going to tell it, what is the headline? Is it a headline? Is it medium? Is it long? These two tell it, it's kind of like a description. It's basically what it's trying to get out of you. You would put in what you want your tone to be. So I like to do a more descriptive or like informal tone. So you could do informal and then what you want your response language to be. And then you would click generate text and it would generate that copy for you. Now I'm using a free account, so I don't have the ability to really, use a lot of this. This is way too much text. And what I would say is if you do use Metricool, the same way I've talked about doing this with Ghostwriter, go ahead and grab all of the copy that it is writing for you and put it elsewhere. Store it away in a spreadsheet, a Google Doc, somewhere else on your computer so you can actually utilize all of the uses that it generated for your one credit. So you got 3 or 4, it actually did 5 examples on this one for 1 credit. So you technically could use those 5 separately in 5 different Pinterest pins and you only used 1 credit, as long as you copy all this out and you don't just click use text and exit out of the screen. Now, if you do want to use that text, then you would just click use text and it's going to insert it. Obviously, that's 2,000 characters. Pinterest only allows 500, so you would need to edit this down and make it fit for the Pinterest platform. Okay, now a couple of the last things that I wanted to talk about were these 4 things. Inside of Metricool, you do have a functionality to see analytics. So I previously used Metricool briefly in the past to try this tool out to see if this was something I wanted to use, but I had never made a tutorial or anything on it. So as I am in this analytics dashboard, you can come in and add other platforms and you can see kind of analytics all in one dashboard. So you can see this Pinterest pin right here had 529 impressions. It's got 1 save so far and 14 pin clicks and 6 people clicked to my website. So you can kind of go through and see the analytics for your Pinterest pins in here. And then your inbox. So if you were to have all of your social platforms connected, you could manage all of your inboxes in this one tool, which is actually really nifty. And then the last thing is smart links. So smart links are a links page. You can see here from the screenshot what that looks like. It is a quick links page. I personally would not use the smart links functionality with Metricool. I would rather simply just use my own Instagram links page. So if we go to my Instagram account, you can see heatherfarris.com/Instagram. This is optimized for desktop and mobile. And this page is tracking. I have pixels on this page. If someone were to click on any of these links and go to other places on my website or whatever, I have all of that page visit data collected, and that's all getting collected inside my Google Analytics. Whereas if you're using third-party tools to build your link pages, you're sending traffic to Metricool and not to your own website. And that's really, at the end of the day, not what we are wanting to do. We are wanting to send traffic to our own websites. So I would encourage you to create your own links page on your own website. The last thing that we will just briefly glaze over, but I'm not doing any tutorials or walking you through it, is Metricool, like some other social media scheduling tools as well, are rolling out the ability to run ads within their scheduling platforms. So you can do Facebook, Google, and TikTok ads, and it looks like you can connect those. And now I'm not sure if you can start the ads in this account and manage them, or if you can just view the data and what's going on in those ads inside of this dashboard. I do know for another tool that you actually have the ability to launch ads from their dashboards. And I'm not going to do a video on that just yet. I'm waiting for that tool to be more established, and then I will talk a little bit more about it. But that is another feature within Metricool that is allowed here. And again, I don't know what extent you have to be able to use this, but it is available to you. And that's pretty much Metricool in a nutshell. You have so many different things that you can do on this tool as far as scheduling to multiple different platforms, creating smart links using their UTM features, pulling all of your inboxes into one place. It is a pretty nifty little tool, and overall for the price, which we haven't actually talked about just yet, it seems to be a decent place to start, especially if you are scheduling more than one platform. So if we are in USD, because obviously I'm in the United States, there is a free forever plan, but the starter plan starts at $18 a month if you do yearly, $18 a month if you pay yearly. If you pay monthly, you pay $22 a month, and then you can manage all of your brands from one place, scheduling up to 2,000 pieces of content per month. And then there are some other features within here as well. So you can get up to 5 brands in for $22 per month, which appears to mean that you could potentially have one Metricool account. And if you're a Pinterest manager, you could potentially have 5 clients within your one Metricool account for your one price. That's a pretty good deal. If you're like me and you have multiple different brands that you schedule for, I personally own 2. I have my travel blog and I have my Farris blog. For $22 a month, if I wanted to pay monthly, I could have 2 Pinterest accounts in one Metricool login. And I think that's actually pretty neat. If you were to create a second brand, you would have to do that within the settings of your Metricool account. So you would come into this drop down and click add brand, and then it would be 2 different toggles. So you could toggle between the brands, and that is pretty nifty. So that's Metricool in a nutshell. So you know how to use Metricool to schedule your Pinterest pins now. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. There's even that built-in UTM code creator right inside of their scheduling tool, and they have some AI functionality. It's not my favorite, but it is there, and it does make things a little quicker if you would like to use it. If you want to learn how to use other Pinterest approved schedulers, you can head right on over here and watch those videos, and I will see you there.